Hi guys, how are you? I hope you're well. Another weekend is on us. Yay! Um, I'm here today to do my April wrap up and just to let you know everything I read. I had a really good April. I read 10 books. It would actually have been 11, but I DNF'd a book. It's not like me to DNF a book, but this one I just couldn't get into, but I'll tell you more about that when I start talking about it. So the first book I read was The Queen of the Tearling by Erica Johansson. Oh my gosh, this has been getting rave reviews on BookTube, and I thought, I saw it and I thought, I'm going to pick it up. I don't know whether I like it or not. I loved it. This is fantastic. I really love the world that Erica has created. Kelsey is one kick-ass girl. I like the fact that she just tells it as it is and she will make her own decisions. She will not be bullied by anybody. I like the fact that the people that brought her up were just so lovely, really caring, although the lady she didn't come across as being really caring, but she did. I loved the escort guys that came to take Kelsey back to the keep, and I just really loved the characters. I liked the fact that she wasn't going to let anything bad happen to people, and that she was willing to fight and stand up for what she believed was right. And I can't wait till I know the next one's coming out soon, or it's out, but it's in hardback. I want it in paperback because I think having started in paperback, I want to continue in paperback. So I'm having to bide my time, and it's really hard because I so want to read it. So yes, definitely go buy that one if you haven't read it at all. If you have read it, please let me know down below what you thought about it, because I would really like to do more talking about it. The next one I read was Flight by Alyssa Rose Ivy. This one I got as a BookBub freebie. I quite enjoyed it. It was to do with a girl who goes to New Orleans for the summer to work in the hotel that her father owns. And she doesn't really have a really good relationship with her dad. Her parents have split and her dad is a bit distant, and she takes one of her best friends with her. And it's sort of almost like small town girl into a big city. What happens? She meets this guy, and he's a part of a group, and she knows there's something different about him, but she doesn't really know what's different about him. And her friend comes over as a bit of a slut, but she isn't. She's actually really insecure, and something happens to the friend that she decides, no, I can't handle this, I'm going home. It leaves the girl in New Orleans on her own and living in the hotel. She becomes more friendly with the main male character, but there's something about him that I wasn't 100% sure about. I'm like, is he a good guy, is he a bad guy? I'm really not sure. And we find out that he's not human. I don't know how to describe him. He can fly, okay? He's got wings. I don't know, does it make him an angel or what? It was never, to me, it was never really made clear. I don't know, is he a vampire that can fly? I really don't know. But there are werewolves and demons in it as well. And he gets her to accept a ring, but he doesn't tell her that accepting the ring and wearing the ring have consequences. And this is what the story, the end of the book revolves around, is the fact that she has to now deal with the consequences of wearing this ring. And I didn't like the fact that he tricked her into it. I really didn't. It was a nice book. It was good. The world building was interesting. Am I going to continue? I honestly don't know. I don't know that it's grabbed me enough to read it. Although I did give it a 4 out of 5. By the way, I gave Queen of the Tearling a 5 out of 5. That was a brilliant 5 out of 5. This I gave a 4 out of 5. I'm honestly unsure as to whether I'm going to carry on with the rest of the series. Again, please, if you read them, let me know down below what you thought of them. It would be really nice. Next book I read was A Secret Wish by Barbara Freethy. Again, a freebie. Got 4 out of 5. This is a really nice story. Lovely characters. It's about 3 ladies who all share the same birthday, but they're not the same age, they're different ages. And you have their 3 stories running alongside each other, and they kind of slightly intertwine. So you're meeting characters that are when one character's life, you meet them with the next one, and then maybe with the next one, and it is really lovely. It's how these three women end up realizing that this birthday that they're having, that it's a sort of a breaking point in their sort of life, and that they want things differently. They want to have a different life now from what they've had, and it's how they go about trying to get this different life and the consequences of such. Again, beautiful, beautiful characters. It was a very well written story. It made you think about your own life and made you think, well, what changes would I want to make, and how would I go about doing it? And I would recommend it to anybody. It was a really good book. Next I read, where is it till I find it? I've got it down here on the floor. I read Theodore Boone, The Fugitive by John Grisham. I've read all the Theodore Boone books so far, and I have loved every single one of them, and this one was no exception. This one tied up loose ends from the very first Theodore Boone book, so I would say if you want to read this one, you've got to have read the ones beforehand, so you get the gist of the story all the way through. Theodore Boone is such a fab character. I mean, to have a sort of 13-year-old who's got like potentials of being a lawyer, who thinks like a lawyer, who acts like a lawyer, whose friends and other people that he knows treat him as a lawyer, is really, really good. But in many ways, in this one you saw his vulnerability. You saw that, wait a minute, I'm only a 13-year-old kid, what can I do? You know, and that was lovely. That was really, really nice. It was also nice to see his uncle, Uncle Ike, who is a bit of the black sheep of the family, being pulled back into the family. And that was lovely. I think it's really nice that the family bond is being recreated, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. So yeah, definitely go check out Theodore Boone. He's fun. Then I read Cupcakes, Trinkets and Other Deadly Magic by Megan Sienna Doge. I read this as part of the readathon, the Spring into Horror readathon. I really enjoyed it. I gave this one a 4 out of 5. By the way, I gave Theodore Boone 5 out of 5. Yes, I really enjoyed this one. This one's to do with a girl who has magic abilities. She bakes cupcakes in her bakery, but she also makes trinkets from pieces of jewellery, etc., that she realises has some magic sort of potential left over from them. But we discover there are murders happening within the city in which she lives, and the the werewolves and the vampires think that she's doing it because at each body one of her trinkets has been left, and they sort of try to gang up on her, and she has to try and work with them to clear her name because they suddenly realise, well, it's actually not her. Who can it be? And she has a sister who's also got magical capabilities, who is more interested in the magic than the main character is. And it's a story of their relationship and the main character's relationship with the werewolves and the vampires, and who you find out kind of who has been doing the murders, etc. It was a really good book. It was really interesting, very scary in some parts. Not scary, but enough to make you go, oh my goodness. I really liked it. And I will be carrying on, I think, with the rest of the series. I would like to see what happens. I want to see if she manages to increase her magical abilities and accepts that she does have magical abilities and how she can use them. So yeah, very good book, and I got a bit of a surprise with it. It wasn't what I expected it to be. I then also read Breakthrough by Michael C. Grumley. Now this was, I gave this one 5 out of 5. Oh my gosh. Marine biology, one of my pet loves. This was to do with a group of marine biologists who have developed a computer system that enables them to interpret the clicks and sounds that dolphins make so that they can actually communicate with them in English. Which is just, for me, that was like, wow, that's amazing. That would be really, really, really good to do. The Navy find out about this, and they are having problems with their submarines. Their submarines are going off course, they're being sucked to the bottom of the ocean, they don't know why. So they ask the marine biologists, can we borrow your dolphins to help us solve this problem? while the marine biologists are with the Navy and the dolphins, something happens that they discover there's extraterrestrial life. But are they actually extraterrestrials? We don't know. And this story is from this point on, you get a crossover between slight fantasy and, you know, kind of real life. Are there extraterrestrials? What are they doing? What are they wanting with the ocean? Why are they there? And you then find out a bit more about American government and what the government think about this and what they plan to do. And I just really, it was a thriller. It was really, really good, really well written. You became so engrossed in this and you wanted there to be a good outcome to this. You wanted nothing. I mean, I was like, don't you dare harm these dolphins, because dolphins are one of my favourite creatures. And it was like, no, come on, you gotta save the dolphins. You gotta do what you can. And I just really, really loved it. And I would recommend it to anyone. Michael is a self-published author on Amazon, so please go check him out. He's got more books in this series, and I am definitely going to be reading more. But yeah, go check him out. He is a great author if you like kind of thriller with some sci-fi and marine biology in it. So very well written. I then read Clarity by Claire Farrell. This was a continuation on of this series. I gave this a 4 out of 5. I did enjoy it, and you got to learn more about the werewolves and why they were doing what they were doing. There's a new pack has come into it, and they're trying to not do away with, but try and harm the pack that's in Dublin. And they're also wanting to get to the main character Perdita, and also to the main male character's, I can't remember his name, I'm really sorry, to his sister Amelia. And it's a story of the werewolves trying to keep these two girls safe, and what happens to them, and you know why. We're beginning to learn a bit more about the curse that's happened to Perdita and the main character. So yes, it was good. I did begin to get a bit, can we hurry this along a bit? So I was like, okay, I finished it, I'm glad I finished it, and I was like, right, will I read any more, or won't I read any more? You'll find out what I thought about that in a minute. I then read Finding Cinderella by Colleen Hoover. This got a 5 out of 5. This was my first Colleen Hoover, and it will not be my last. This was such a beautiful story about a boy who spends a free period from school in a cupboard, in a sort of cleaning cupboard, because he hasn't been allocated a class for that period. And one day this girl joins him, and the light is off, so they don't know he doesn't know what she looks like. She doesn't know what he looks like. They talk, and they end up making love, which I found really strange. But maybe not at not at the first meeting, but at the next meeting, because she thinks she's got a reputation of being a slut, and that making love is meaning she's never made love to anyone. She just has sex, and he tries to prove that there is a difference. He then tries to wonder who this girl is and tries to find out in some ways, and he ends up with this other girl, and she is an absolute cow. Oh my god, she is an absolute cow. And he eventually dumps her, thank goodness. And his best friend and his best friend's girlfriend, he goes round to theirs, and there's this girl that he's never seen before sitting there eating ice cream, and they get talking and they become friends. But his best friend says, you're not allowed to go out with her. You're banning you from going out with this girl. And the story takes off from that point, where they decide that they're going to stuff this. We're not having this ban, and we are going to go out with each other. And eventually he discovers that she is the girl he met in the cupboard. And something happens that I'm not going to say because I'm not going to spoil it. And it's a story of how they have to rebuild their relationship. And it was just beautiful. Oh my gosh, it was just so lovely. So if you've never read any Colleen Hoover, please go and read this book. It was just stunningly beautiful. And as I say, it will not be my last Colleen Hoover. I then read Fly Away by Kristen Hanna as a buddy read with Amanda, and yeah, I wept. I wept buckets with this one again. Well, not buckets, but not as much as the last one, but I did weep. It was beautiful to have the characters come back to you again, and just the book pick up from where Firefly Lane, I must get my teeth in. There we go. Where that one left off, this one picked up, and it's the story of the three main female characters, of Mara, of Cloud, and of Tully, how they cope with what happened at the end of the first book, how it changes their lives, how it makes them reassess things. I felt sorry that we didn't hear more about the two boys, the twins, Matthew and, oh gosh, oh, I can't remember his brother. Oh, I was just going to say the two boys. How they got on with what happened. Honestly, you have to read it. It is so beautiful, and the way she portrayed the things that happened to the characters, it was so well written. Again, it will not. This is not going to be my. These are not going to be my only two Kristen Hannas. I'm going to read so many more because Amanda's introduced me to such a fantastic author. So thank you, Amanda. I really appreciate it. Then I read Adversity, again, Claire Farrell. By the way, I gave Fly Away, I gave 5 out of 5. I read Adversity by Claire Farrell. This is 2.5 in the series. To me, it didn't add anything to the series. It actually made me really not like the character of Amelia. I was like, will you grow up? She annoyed me. She was whiny. She was like, I don't like this, what am I going to do? And I'm like, oh, come on. So it's kind of maybe put me off the series a wee bit. So I really don't know whether I'm going to read the last one. I don't know. If I do read the last one, I'm going to take a long time before I do so, because I just need a break from these characters. It's just, so I'm afraid I got 3 out of 5. It was just not great at all. And the book I DNF'd, The Year of Reading Dangerously by Andy Miller. I'd picked this up and I thought this is going to be really good. It's about a guy who starts reading again in a year, and it's all the books that he reads within that year. And I thought this is going to be really interesting. He's going to talk about the books and, you know, what he thought of them, etc, etc. And I got, I think, about to the third chapter, and I thought, I am never going to read any of these books that he's been writing about. I don't want to read these books. They don't sound that interesting, and the way he was writing just wasn't grabbing me, so I'm afraid I DNF'd. I thought, life is too short to read a book that you're not enjoying, so just don't bother. So that's it. Those were my 10 I did read, and my 11th I DNF'd. Please let me know down below if you've read any of the books that I read, what you thought of them. Are there any books that you thoroughly enjoyed this month that you would like to tell me about? Please do so down in the comments. It'd be really nice to know what you thoroughly enjoyed this month. Have a great reading weekend. I'm off to do some reading. I've got a nice big pot of soup on the go on the stove. It is absolutely Baltic here. It is so cold. We had some nice sunshine. Not now. It is cold. So I plan this afternoon to upload this, and then I plan to go to my soup and do some reading, and there's a really good rugby match on as well this afternoon. So that's my weekend, my Saturday plans. Anyway, have a really good weekend, and I will see you soon in another video. Bye!